Don't ask me to talk.
From the sublime to the ridiculous.
Join me, Stacey Heller,
And me, Eric Ryder.
as we talk about what's good to watch, read, see, listen to, and more.
An edutaining 1-hour break in your day that includes the segment, What Are We Eating? Sponsored by Dingfelder's Delicatessen.
Stick with us for something good. Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk here on Kixie. I am Stacey Heller, joined by my co-host.
Hey, it's me, Eric Ryder.
There he is, the man of the hour. I guess that makes me the woman of the hour.
Sure.
Sure. Let's go with that. We love talking about the sublime to the ridiculous, right?
That's right.
We talk all the time about how this show is...
You're the sublime, I'm the ridiculous.
I don't know. That's very sweet of you, but I feel like I'm definitely the ridiculous. Anyway, I just love the fact that when people have so many things to consume during the week, some of it serious, some of it obviously important, whatever it is, we get to talk about fun things and good things because good stuff should be shared. So
That's right.
you know, I appreciate everybody that listens to the show and enjoys it. It would be nice to hear from you. I do feel a little bit like we're in an echo chamber. We would love to know what are some topics that you would like to see added to the Wheel O Topics. You know, maybe you have some ideas, even if they have been done in an episode prior. Maybe you missed it. So a great way to communicate with us would be to text or leave a voicemail. Our number is 475. That's right, 475, not 425, 475 999 2726. Or, as Eric likes to say,
That's 475-99 you ran.
there you go.
Like you ran to your phone to text us.
Exactly, because you have some ideas that you want to share with us. Remember that you can follow our playlist on Spotify. It is under the acronym DAMTT, otherwise known as DAMT.
That's
and you also posted on YouTube a trailer reel, didn't you?
Yeah. We recently did a episode about our movies that we can watch over and over. And so we put together a playlist of trailers for those movies. And it was interesting watching those because sometimes a trailer gives you, I think, a good idea of what a movie is about or whether you want to watch it or not. And sometimes it's kind of a trailer fail, if you will.
Yeah.
And you just go, I have no clue whether I want to watch this based on the trailer. But nevertheless, that's the tool that we have in the world for, you know, getting some kind of synopsis of a movie.
Totally. Or
Yeah.
you listen to the episode that we did a couple weeks ago.
Of course, yeah.
And then you can decide, based on our opinions, what we thought of it and why we cannot resist watching the movie when we see it on whatever the platform is.
That's right.
Okay, so it is.
And speaking of that,
Yeah.
before we move on, and I know this is coming up later, but can we shoehorn regrets? I've had a few up just a little bit further in the episode today.
Yes.
Because I was just on vacation and in the hotel, I didn't have my streaming option, so I was kind of forced to go with what was being played on the different channels that they had in the hotel that I stayed at. And one of the movies that I love watching over and over, but I neglected to mention on that particular episode, was on Office Space. What a great, fun movie that is. That it doesn't matter where in the movie it is. If you turn it on, you're going to get stuck watching that, at least in the background for until it ends.
Very good movie. Did you add that to the playlist reel?
I really should.
You really should. We have to keep adding to our Spotify playlist for our music and our movie because you especially are a huge fan of music. Well, actually, I'm also a huge fan of music. I just tend to be more mainstream than you. And movies. And it's great to have a resource for ideas for people. I'm always looking for suggestions. And so that's a great reference for people that listen to the show. What is the YouTube channel, or what is it called?
It's called Damped Trailers, I think.
There you go.
But if you go to that particular episode of the podcast, it's also in the description of the podcast, leading you right to it. So that's probably the fastest, quickest, easiest way to find it.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
So efficient.
You know what else I ended up watching was like 3 episodes of The Food That Built America that I hadn't seen before.
That's such a good show. You got me on that.
That's right. But the reason why it made me think of you, aside from the fact that we've talked about it on one of the shows before, was that they did the Dave Thomas story, the founder of
Wendy's.
Wendy's. Yeah. Did you know that he started at Kentucky Fried Chicken?
I did not know that.
And the bucket was his idea. So, because your mom is such a huge Wendy's fan, that made me think of you. And so I said, "Oh, I gotta find out how this turns out, so I can talk to Stacy about it."
I'm gonna send my mom the episode. My mom, for people that don't know this, Eric knows this. My mom is a huge fan of Wendy's, to the point where, whatever the holiday is, we all get our gift cards to Wendy's, and the manager knows her so well that she can go in and chat with him. He hooked her up with the app on her phone so that she can get more free food. Apparently, this is such a well-known fact among her circle that when she went to the dentist the other day to have a tooth fixed, the office person said, "By the way, I have a gift for you," and gave her like the golden ticket that is equal to a year's worth of free Frosties.
Wow.
Right? And I was like, for the dental work that you're having done, you could probably sell 365 days of Frosties to people, because she's not a huge Frosty consumer.
Right.
And I'm like, and that would pay for some of the dental work you need to have done.
There you go.
She was like, I'm not doing that. Anyway.
I don't blame her. But
yeah. But, that's kind of a cool gift.
For sure.
So I'm going to have to share that episode with her. Thanks. That'll keep her busy for a whole hour and
Fun
out
watch.
of trouble. All right. So I love how off topic we get. It's exactly how I like this show to go, because it's how my brain goes. So speaking of holidays, very loose connection there, and, giving gifts and whatnot. Today, there is an international day.
Ooh, it's our ridiculous high holidays.
It's yes.
Happy holidays.
Exactly. I can't. Something about the merry bells are ringing. I think that's what it is.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, so today the international ridiculous holiday is Confucius Day.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, on this day, back in 13 BC. No, that can't be it. I'm trying to look up. I'm trying to see where it is. Okay. On this day in 551 BC, in the 22nd year of the reign of Emperor Zheng, Confucius was born, or as they say, a sage was born.
That's right. For those that don't know, he's a famous Chinese philosopher and politician of the spring and autumn period, who's traditionally considered the paragon of Chinese sages. Confucius's teachings and philosophy underpin East Asian culture and society, remaining influential across China and East Asia to this day.
This is true. And because in America we make everything ridiculous, he is also oft quoted on fortune cookies.
Yes, and often quoted incorrectly.
Yes. Which, the reason that I picked this, because, again, sublime and ridiculous, keep that in mind, listeners and Eric, is because I'm curious, when you read a fortune cookie, do you add anything to the end of it?
I don't, but I know that there's a running gag with a lot of people that they just add in bed to whatever their fortune is. And I've had a bone to pick with fortune cookies for a long time.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, they're American, not Chinese. But they're given out almost exclusively at Chinese American restaurants, which is totally fine. But I don't think that they're that great of a cookie. It could be a little better.
Yeah, I'm not.
But the fortunes themselves, they just often seem to be just like vague descriptions of you as a person, rather than some kind of fortune about what could happen. I'm trying to get some insight on the future here, and instead I'm getting, you're a real good, good
Right.
dresser or whatever. It's like, I appreciate the compliment, fortune cookie, but I'll
You're
go to my
looking for
friends and family
fortune.
for that rather than, my fortune.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, like, you're thinking fortune, like horoscope type stuff.
I mean, any kind of insight into the future or tell me what I should invest in, something like that might pay off rather than just a vague compliment.
Buy stocks.
That's right. Yeah. Tell me which stocks, Cookie.
Confucius say,
Yes.
buy low, sell high.
There you go.
Interesting. Okay, that's fair. So, yeah, I was curious. You knew what I was referencing because whenever we have Chinese food and, our family, we all pick a random fortune cookie and then we read out the fortune and we do add in bed to the end of the fortune cookie because, again, if you haven't met me, I'm ridiculous. Now, speaking of cookies, today it is a national holiday and it is a trifecta. 3 separate holidays that are they separate? This does not feel like a coincidence to me. It is National Coffee Day.
Mm-hmm.
It is National Starbucks Day.
Okay.
And it is National Biscotti Day.
It's almost as if some marketer said, hey, it's National Coffee Day. You know what goes great with National Coffee Day? Biscotti.
Right.
And then Starbucks said, hey, we sell coffee. We sell biscotti. Let's make it our holiday.
Right?
Bam.
I
Done.
mean, it's almost like anyone
Trifecta.
has access to these calendars of ridiculous high holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Now, I think we've talked about this before. You are not a coffee drinker.
No.
Nor am I. Not
We're
a fan.
totally in the wrong place.
We are
'cause this is Coffee Central.
It is totally Coffee Central. And what about a biscotti eater?
I don't mind a biscotti, but it's one of those things that's made to be had with like a hot beverage. If you have it by itself, it's severely disappointing. But if you've got a nice hot cup of tea or a cup of cocoa, or if you're a coffee drinker, cup of coffee, then yeah, I'll take it. But it's never one of those things that I go and buy. It's just like, oh, if someone's like, here, have a biscotti, I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I am not a big biscotti fan. And my husband, being half Italian, he grew up with his sister makes amazing biscotti, or so I've heard. His family, they all love biscotti, and they love having their espresso or coffee at the end of a meal or just, at brunch or whatever it is. And they're all dipping away. And I'm like, thank you for that brick that you're calling a cookie. And like
it's like the fruitcake, I guess.
Well,
some
at least-
people love it, some people don't.
at least fruitcake is kind of softish, but this feels like
it's fresh for sure.
when I'm chewing a biscotti, because biscotti means twice baked. That's essentially what biscotti means, twice baked. And so you bake it, as in a log, and then you cut it and you bake it again. And so I'm like, when I'm chewing it and there's the hard crumbles, I'm always like, did I lose a tooth? Is there a tooth in there?
But do you have it with a nice hot beverage?
No, I don't like nice hot beverages.
You don't like tea?
Nope.
Okay, you don't like cocoa?
Nope.
You don't like Tang? I don't know what other option there is. But
I don't like a hot toddy. I do not like it, Sam. I
okay,
am.
then a biscotti's just not for you because it's made to enjoy with a hot beverage.
Yeah, I get it, and it's not my jam.
All right,
Maybe I'd like a biscotti with jam. That might soften it.
I think you're into scone territory now, which is probably next week's holiday.
I guess we'll find out at the end of the
Yes.
show. Yeah, so I'm glad that, you don't get it because you like biscotti. And I'm sure that there are people out there, if you're listening and you have some biscotti recipe that you just think is phenomenal or you think I'm crazy, I'd love to hear from you.
But
Remember,
so you don't like herbal tea either?
Nope.
So no hot beverages.
No. I am a very. Here's the deal.
All right. You are the ridiculous, I am the sublime.
As a kid, I liked hot chocolate, but I liked hot chocolate merely as a vessel to get whipped cream. And then by the time I got the whipped cream, I was like, yeah, I don't want the hot cocoa now.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. No, but I mean, there's so many things that I don't like that other people just swear by that there's no way I could possibly judge you, but it's still a little bit surprising to me that you don't like any hot beverage.
It's a little inconvenient, I will tell you.
Yeah.
When it's cold outside and everybody else is like, oh, we're ice skating, and they're all like holding the cup and it feels very festive. I'm like, can I just get some hot water and I'll hold it?
Right.
So that I can look
just
like everybody else.
My Diet Coke, please.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a real conundrum, I will tell you. It's hard not liking a lot of liquids. This is why I struggle with getting my water in.
Gotta hydrate. Well, we kind of zipped past Confucius fairly quickly, so I thought maybe it'd be fun to mention just a couple of his quotes here, because I'm not as familiar with Confucius as for somebody that's such a cultural and historic figure and, a huge bedrock, if you will, for Asian culture. It seems insane that we don't know more of his stuff, but some of his quotes are really beautiful. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it.
Right.
Like those hot beverages, for instance. Those are beautiful, and you just don't see it.
I do not.
Silence is a true friend who never betrays. And I think Simon and Garfunkel learned that one.
Oh, yeah.
Wheresoever you go with all your heart.
Oh, I like that.
It's kind of nice.
I mean,
this guy could have wrote for Hallmark.
I mean, him and Ben Franklin.
Yes.
Right? I mean, Benjamin Franklin and his fish and guests stink after 3 days. And 2 can keep a secret 3 can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
He was a little more pithy than Confucius, but he was smart.
Yeah. So hey, happy birthday, Confucius. Yes. Thank you for your wisdom.
If it is his birthday. Was that why it was Confucius Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was born isn't today the 28th?
Today is the 29th.
I wonder why
yesterday
Confucius
was
Day,
his birthday.
I wonder why it wouldn't be on the actual day. That's kind of bizarre.
Right?
Because today is Confucius Day, but they're saying that he was born on, I'm thinking it's a typo. Why would you have Confucius Day on the day after his birthday?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So I'm
but
going
obviously we don't come up with the high holidays.
No, this is why it's spelled with a Z and not with a YS. So, but now I'm going to have to look that up, and we're going to have to address it next week. Oh, it is a very hard job that we have. Okay. Anything else you want to add before we take a break and come back to talk about our actual topic?
What was our actual topic again?
Our favorite children's book.
Ooh, I better think of some over the break.
Oh my gosh, you better get thinking. All right. Well, this may have to be a longer break than usual, folks. Keep listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk. We will be right back after this quick message. Stacy Connects. It's not just my business, it's my superpower. Whether you need the right tone and messaging for a new venture, or you've plateaued with your current one, I can help. I connect clients with themselves and their potential. Then, I identify unique solutions that translate your brand into messaging that connects your target audience with your business. Go to stacyconnects.com to connect with me and your messaging.
Interested in learning something new? Meeting someone new? Find out things that we have in common? Well, of course you are. You're a human being. So let's get intentional about it. Join me, JDK Winnikin, every week and get all of that in less than an hour. I'm a writer, a historian, a social commentator, and my show is all about you. Really, that's what it's called. This show is all about you. Get my perspectives on the week's news and hear fascinating guests whose stories will inspire and move you. My show is all about giving you something that connects us. Join me Mondays on Kixie 880 at 3 p.m. or download it as a podcast.
Can't get enough of Stacy and Eric? Then be sure and check out Stacy Connects with Stacy Heller wherever you find podcasts. Stacy chats with guests about a variety of topics, hoping to make a connection through conversation.
Don't ask me to talk. Welcome back to the show. This is Don't Ask Me to Talk with Stacy Heller and my co-host.
That's me, Eric Ryder.
So, I'm not going to lie, on the damped wheel o topics, this is one of those like that I put in and I was like, mwah. This is a favorite for me.
Looking at your list here, you've got a lot of them too. So.
Well, I have so many that I actually had to divide them into books from my childhood versus books that I was introduced to via my children's childhood.
Yeah, you've got an advantage here that you've got several children and I have no children. So, you know, I was not introduced to many kids' books once I passed the age of 18.
Yes, this is fair. This is fair. So how do you want to do this one?
Well, why don't you go ahead and just tell us a few of your favorites, and then I'll mention a couple.
All right. So, let's see. There is a series of books that I was introduced to when I was little. It was done by the photographer Jill Cremens, and the series was called A Very Young Series. So there was a very young dancer, a very young horse rider, a very young gymnast, and Jill Cremens would follow these young people that were typically somewhere in the age of like 9 to 12 and follow them in their kind of everyday life. And these weren't like the typical gymnast. It was like, you know, the ones that are like hoping to gear up for the Olympics, or, you know, the ice skater that, you know, is competing, you know, not your average kids. And so they were so interesting to look at the lives of these kids. And I was like, I have no interest in doing that. Now, what was very cool is she did one with, it was called A Very Young Circus Flyer, and it was the one that she did with a male. All the rest had been with women or young women, at least for the ones that I know. I think she later expanded and did more. Anyway, he was part of what I affectionately refer to as the Flying Farfignuggins. That is 100% not what they were called. His family was part of the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus. And so he was part of that group. And it was such an interesting thing to get a different insight into circus life, especially with Ringling Brothers. And when I saw the circus, and I still have the program from when I saw it, because I was like, oh, there he is. It's the kid from the Flying Farfignuggins. And again, that's not what his name is. But that was a really cool series. So, and it was basically almost, it would be like a book documentary. There was photographs and words and stories and stuff. Okay. Then most of the books that I remember from my kid are not like picture books and anything. I don't remember really those per se. So I remember things like from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweller. I loved the idea of hiding out in a museum. I grew up being dragged to museums. Of course, I would later learn to love it. But as a kid, it was like, ugh. So the idea of stealing the coins out of the fountain and then going and buying lunch and sleeping at night on a queen's bed and, you know, the adventure of that, I just thought that was really cool. Also, what kid doesn't have fantasies of running away? And that just seemed like a really well-oiled plan. Then there was The House of 30 Cats. That book, I remember we had something in school where you had to write to an author, and that is the author that I wrote to, and she wrote me back, Mary Calhoun. I don't have the letter anymore, and I probably asked some inane question. But hey, it's still cool to hear back from an author of a book that you like. Then I really loved The Cricket in Times Square, a classic. And the Little House series, Laura Ingalls Wilder. That show was on when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And I really loved The Little House in the Big Woods. Now, this makes me feel like I was like a child of the Depression or something, because that particular book, in the first like few chapters when they're gearing up for wintertime, I am like, it is such a comfort to like, they braided the garlic and they collected, the pumpkins, and they had the apples and they were canning, and Pa was slaughtering the pig, and the girls would cook the tail, and they would play with the bladder like it was a ball, and they would smoke the meat and all these things. I clearly feel like I have some issue that I need the comfort of plentifulness, because that book was like my comfort reading. It's very bizarre. And then the other one that is something that I actually passed on is my mother would read to us every year letters from the book The Father Christmas Letters, which was written by Tolkien. Yes, that's right. J.R. Tolkien wrote these letters to his own children.
Author of the Lord of the Rings series and The Hobbit.
Exactly. Yeah. And he wrote these letters. He had created sort of a story about Father Christmas and his sidekick, the North Polar Bear, and their adventures at the North Pole. And he even went so far as to create an alphabet, and he would write these letters every year telling the kids what's going on. And, some of this was during wartime or when there was not a lot to be had. And so why presents were late or there were none that would be forthcoming. And he would have these wild and fanciful stories that had, the elves and trolls and all of these things. And they were just awesome. And Mom read them to us every year. And then, of course, I introduced my kids to them, and they also love them. So those are my childhood books.
Awesome. Well, you just reminded me. I had totally forgot about the cricket in Times Square, but I'm pretty sure I read that as a kid and enjoyed it. I either read it or I saw like a TV adaptation of it.
Maybe.
But yeah, that was a fun kids book for sure.
Yeah.
Which is, I believe, about a cricket that the guy finds in the subway,
and he
takes it home, and it becomes friends with a mouse and a cat. And
yep.
Yeah, I don't remember all the details, but
that's pretty good though. You got a lot of it.
Yeah, it's. I remember that being a good one. Well, some of the ones that I thought about with this topic were one of the most famous children's books, I think, but I definitely loved it as a kid, was Where the Wild Things Are by Maury Sendak, which is a beautiful book, and it's the illustrations are as much about what makes it fantastic as the story itself. So that's one that I think everybody should check out if they have a kid, or they just want to feel youthful again, because it's a classic for a reason. One that is not so famous, but I remember really enjoying it as a kid, was Mail Order Wings by Beatrice Gormley. Do you remember that, or did you ever read that one?
I don't think so.
This is a pretty fun book. It's about a teenage girl that finds an ad in the back of a magazine for wings that you can grow yourself. And she thinks this is crazy, but she decides to go ahead and order the wings. And so then she gets the wings, and spoiler, they actually start growing on her, and it's about her like dealing with having wings, and trying to hide them, and she has to wear a tank top all the time, and
are they big? Are they little?
Yeah, no, they're big wings, and she goes out like flying at night. And it's a really fun book. And I haven't thought about that since I read it, probably like as a 9-year-old.
But it made an impression.
But yeah, it did, because who doesn't want to be able to grow some wings and fly?
Yeah, that's so interesting.
And it goes into like details about the professor that invented them and stuff. So that's a good one. I really like the Runaway Ralph series
Oh my
by
gosh.
Beverly Cleary. Started off with the mouse and the motorcycle, then Runaway Ralph and Ralph S. Mouse. I thought that was just a lot of fun, and there was a great after-school special or Saturday. I don't remember what the name of it was, where they took books and turned them into specials. That I think had a young Fred Savage from the Wonder Years starring in that, along with animated Ralph S. Mouse.
Wow.
Modelmation.
That's interesting. That's a real callback.
Yeah, it's worth checking that out. Really like the Peter Rabbit story with Beatrix Potter wrote that. Again, the illustrations were a huge part of a lot of these that made them, real classics. More on the rabbit tip. The Velveteen Rabbit is a classic. It's a downer, but it's a great book. And The Wind in the Willows, another one. Basically, any book where the animals
I know you're an animal
running things.
And like science, kind of like fantasy or science fiction type guy.
Yeah. But The Wind in the Willows, I think, is not just a really fun book, but there was a great series out of the UK that was animated based on The Wind in the Willows. They made a movie, and then they created a series with new stories with those characters, and it's all stop motion animation, and it's one of the greatest things. I found the series on YouTube recently, and I've been watching those as I try to doze off at night because it's really relaxing watching them, and it stands up even as an adult in your 40s watching the show. It's really sharp writing and just beautifully animated. So if you like any of the like Wallace and Gromit stuff, and actually one of the characters, Rat, is played by the guy that played Wallace.
Oh, okay.
And that animation, that stop motion animation, along the lines of Wallace and Gromit, is what they do, and it's incredible to me that they were able to do that on a budget that clearly wasn't billions of dollars, but it looks so good that I have no idea how they managed to do it, but it's a great series.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. So that makes me think in terms of like the calming children's books. Maurice Sendak also did the Little Bear series.
Oh, yes.
And there was that cartoon as a kid. So when my kids were little, they would watch the Little Bear, and I think her name was like Emily, and they had like Duck and Owl. And I was always like, hey guys, don't you want to watch Little Bear? Because I could fall asleep watching it, and it was like, we could all take a nap. Because it was so calming. So now that's making me think I should watch past episodes of Little Bear to fall asleep at night.
Nice. And I highly recommend you check out the Wind in the Willows stop motion animated series from I want to say the company is Cosgrove Hall.
Okay.
That's the name of the company that produced it. And it's just so good. I mean, and part of it is the fact that Toad, as in the book, is just a total pretentious jerk.
Totally.
A rich,
Toad Hall.
entitled brat.
Yep.
And his long-suffering friends, help him get out of all of his scrapes. But it's really funny. So, yeah, I think that's like set the standard for many a sitcom to come. But it was all those years ago, Kenneth Graham in his novel.
Isn't that funny? You're right. I'm like thinking like everything from like The Odd Couple to like just like anything. Oh, that's funny. Interesting take. Love that. We'll have
like the Seinfeld of the animal world.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, kind of, because it's. I mean, that's the thing about children's books is that there's really like lessons there. I mean, some are. It may seem ridiculous, but, you think about Hop on Pop, or you think about, anything. It's to encourage kids to learn about, cadence, language, numbers, rhyming. There's a reason for all of it. And there's also all of the lessons that can be learned. And so when authors paint a character like Toad as so pretentious, it's like you see that, right? And then you're seeing without being overly told, what it looks like to be a good friend and what it looks like to be kind of a jerk as a friend.
Yep.
So, interesting. Well, okay. So let's switch gears, if you don't mind, to books that I got introduced to because of my 4 kids.
For sure. I mean, all mine are from like the 80s or before, so there's got to be some more modern ones that are becoming classics as we speak.
So for this, I will say that I pretty much picked mostly picture books, although there are a ton of great books out there that are series. But for these purposes, I picked the picture books. So, and what I did is I picked books by authors that pretty much any book that you read. Like there's the book Chrysanthemum by Kevin Henkes, and he's done a whole bunch of books. Lily and the Purple Plastic Purse, like Julius, Baby of the World. But this particular one I really love. It's a little girl who has a crazy name, and how just one person, her teacher, noticing how great it is, it just changes like her whole perception. I love, there's a couple of books by Helen Lester that I love. A Porcupine Named Fluffy, or Hooray for Wadney Wet, which is a really funny book about a bully. Camilla Capybara and Rodney Rat, who couldn't say his R's. Let me just say the punchline is when Wadney said, "Go west," and all of his schoolmates rested while Camilla Capybara went west, never to return. So it was a happy ending. Books by Jill Murphy about the elephant family, my favorite being 5 Minutes Peace. I read it to my kids all the time about a long-suffering mother just looking for 5 minutes peace, hoping that they would learn the importance of giving their mother 5 minutes peace. And that would be a big no. Falling for Rapunzel, which is a funny take on Rapunzel and the prince thinking that she needs to be saved when in fact she does not. I've talked about the book Mrs. Rumphius on the show before, about a lesson that I think is amazing. I also I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's John Skiska, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, which is told by a wolf and how he was framed. Books by him and Lane Smith are hysterical. And then really kind of any book by Mo Willems. He does a whole bunch of books, and they're amazing. So check all of those authors out and those books out. You will not be disappointed. That wraps it up for today.
Plenty of reading to do.
It's plenty of reading to do, and now there's we need to talk about food and what we're going to eat.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Read a book. And
I feel like a great children's book could be written about Vance Dingfelder, the owner and operator of Dingfelder's Deli and Nourish Catering. I mean, I feel like there's a great story there. He's such a character.
The deli dude.
Yeah, the deli dude. The Prince of Pastrami, if you will. Yeah.
I'm going to work on this.
Let's collab.
Okay. Let's for sure do it. Keep listening. We will be joined by Vance when we come back from this message. Whether it's fly fishing or French pastry, we all have something that makes our tail wag. Involuntary and instinctive, it's sparked by excitement, inspired by purpose, and it speaks to who we are. I'm Stacey Heller of Stacey Connects. I lead clients to the place that makes their tail wag. As a creative director, I bring ideas to life. As a podcast producer, I give ideas a voice. Stacey Connects. It's my superpower. If you want to connect with me, Stacey Heller, go to staceyconnects.com. Welcome back to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I, of course, am Stacey Heller, joined by Eric Ryder.
That's right. And we're also joined by the Lord of the Sandwich, the King of the Knish, the Prince of Pastrami, the dude at the deli. That's right, Mr. Vance Dingfelder from Dingfelder's Deli.
I love
Hello,
it.
Eric. Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
How are you? How are you guys this week?
We're great. Every week, your moniker is getting longer and longer. And so congratulations on that. So, Vance, what are we eating this week?
What could it be? Could it be the pickled herring that we got? Our pickled herring is insane. We are going to have the pickled herring in the new case when we open up. You can order it by the fillet, get cream sauce with onions. It's delicious. We finally got the recipe down.
I know some Scandinavians that are going to be beating down your door now.
Oh, Ballard. Ballard
Yeah.
has some of the best herring you can ever have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that I think this week is National Coffee Week or something like that.
We mentioned that at the top of the show.
Oh, you said something to me last week about it, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting.
All right.
And what should we talk about? So coffee. We are going to have, we currently, for Nourish Catering, have always, and I've always been a fan of, Cafe Vita.
Okay.
We have, and a lot of people come up to the deli and ask if we have coffee, and currently we don't sell coffee. So, but we do for catering. And we are putting in an espresso bar because, how could we not have an espresso bar?
I mean,
It's going to have Cafe Vita coffee, and we'll have a full espresso bar when we reopen, and that's getting close. And also, coffee made me think. Do you know our marble rye? Have you ever had it?
yeah. Oh, your marbled rye is really good.
Well, I don't know if you know, I built a bakery. We now bake. We do all of our baking of our bread in-house. The challah, the rye. Challah for some challah. The marble rye, however. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you before, but do you know how you get the pumpernickel dark?
You mix in the pumper to the nickel.
Okay,
You
Faith.
pump her in? I don't know.
You pumper nickel. That's what you do.
Right. I don't know.
So pumping the nickel is usually the whole dark rye using the germ from the outside, but it still isn't dark.
Okay.
It doesn't get it really dark. And how you get it really dark, there's a couple of ways. One way is you use some coffee, and the other way is you use cocoa.
Oh,
How about that, right?
interesting. So that's what gives it kind of the rich.
Our pumpernickel rye is actually a mocha.
Interesting. Combo.
I have to tell you, what's even more interesting is that prior to us making our own marble bread, a marble rye, seeded rye was the mainstay. Now, and Blazing Bagels was doing it for me. So I was doing the seeded caraway rye.
Yep.
And also the marble rye, but both of them had seeds in it. And from the very beginning, there was people would come in and go, do you have anything without seeds? Because in New York, the rye, in a lot of places, does not have caraway seeds.
Yeah. I like seedless rye.
Yeah. Well, until I used to like seedless rye, growing up in my father's restaurant. But once I got a taste of that caraway, when you bite into it, I was like, wow, that's really cool. I like to put caraway in sauerkraut.
I've heard of that. I think I've heard of it from you, actually.
Yeah. You saute the sauerkraut with some champagne vinegar, and you put caraway seeds in it, a little onion. It's really good. And then you do it cold. Either way, cold or hot. It's almost like you can use them in German potato salad.
Yep.
It's kind of cool. So our marble rye outpaces the seeded rye right now.
And that's a big surprise because it was 2-1 the other way prior to us making our own. And since we started making our own, it's a little more than 55% marble, 45 caraway rye.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's really cool. And, we're, pumpernickel bagels, but that's what I'm doing with coffee. And I wanted to try to go with what's going on in coffee.
Well, very good.
It's not fun as to what we're,
Yeah, but that's interesting, though. It's interesting to know what goes into food sometimes. I mean, this is like that Alton Brown show. Sometimes it's not about having fun.
I think Alton has a little more followers than I do.
Well, couple two tree, but don't worry about it.
I'm coming, Alton. Watch out.
Now, next week is Yom Kippur, as I'm sure you're well.
Yes, we just got through Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
And broke all kinds of records.
Are there special dishes associated with Yom Kippur? Because if anybody can put the yum in Yom Kippur, it's you, Vance.
Okay, so Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement.
Uh-huh.
And we break the fast on Yom Kippur.
Yep.
And typically you break the fast with a lighter meal. Most people are wanting what we call kiddush. And since, you break the fast late at night, they like kiddush. It's kind of like breakfast for dinner. Who doesn't like that? And it's bagels, lox, cream cheese, white fish, smoked salmon, pickled herring, egg salad or tuna salad kind of thing, some fruit, and some sweet. It's not, it's not a crazy kind of thing, but that's the majority of what we'll be selling. And I personally think that the whitefish, and I've always been a whitefish guy, the whitefish that gets produced during this period is the best. It's always super oily and sweet, so fresh. I mean, it doesn't compare, and it's got this flavor that's just amazing. So the whitefish salad that we make is extra special, and the whole whitefish that we sell is really cool. We do our smoked salmon. We have we got a bunch of new lox samples in because I want to start making my own lox, but
yep.
I want to we want to start slicing it by hand, and that's kind of a big deal as far as I think in Seattle to be able to go to a place that cuts their lox by hand.
Oh yeah,
and buy it by the pound. In New York, it's not. Sure. You go anywhere. You go to Russ and Daughters. You go to Barney Greengrass. You go to any delicatessen. They slice it. Now a lot of places have changed. You go to Zabar's, right? Zabar's is slicing it by hand. They got, Eli back there.
Right.
and that, I think, I've always felt that was something that Seattle can benefit from. I'm going to make my own lox. So that's going to be fun. I did Copper River lox not this past, the year before. And it was the best lox I've ever tasted.
And you know what goes really well with salmon at a kiddush after you break fast for Yom Kippur?
I love Stacy cream cheese.
And coffee.
And coffee. Coffee.
Coffee.
You got to have some coffee. But you know what? Coffee. What do you want? You want a regular?
Exactly.
Sweet?
Exactly.
Black, no sugar? Black 2 sugars?
Well, that's what you got to know what a regular is. I love it. Okay, so as always, we get a hankering for food, and we get food flavor from you. I mean,
Did I talk to you last week about honey cake? Did we talk about honey cake?
We did talk about honey cake.
So our honey cake, man, so proud of it. It's got orange zest and clove and cinnamon and coriander. It's good honey cake.
It sounds delicious.
I want to make a cream cheese frosting for it.
Oh. I mean, okay, you've got to focus your energy on getting the space reopened for dine-in. People can
Yes,
still take out, but
Yes,
no
ma'am.
more coming up with salmons and spreads and frostings. Like, we got to get this place open so people can have the full dine-in experience.
They're crawling in. They come in and just look on their faces because they know they're in the wrong place. You know, they come in the back door by mistake.
Ah,
And they're like, oh, I don't belong here.
I mean, you do, just not through that entry point.
Yes.
And just
exactly.
not yet. So,
Just not yet.
so I mean, hey, honey
But
cake.
of course, they do have the window, and you can order to go, and it's still fantastic food. You just don't have the dine-in experience yet.
Exactly.
But that's
Well,
coming
we
soon.
do have tables on the street.
Right.
Yep.
But that's a
You guys can sit on the sidewalk and
dining outside experience.
like a little al fresco.
That's right.
Exactly. Let's like zhuzh it up, and we'll call it al fresco. And hey, you know, ask to say hi to Vance, aka Mr. Honeycake, and tell him that.
Honey cakes. That's what I want to start calling you.
Oh,
Hey,
there we
honey
go.
cakes.
Nice. Well, maybe we'll call Eric
We'll call
Honeycakes.
it. Maybe we'll make honey cakes for Eric.
Hey, I'm
We'll
down
sell
for
them.
that.
There you go. I love it. All right. Well, unfortunately,
Time's up.
time is up, and now I have cake on the brain, and so
Honey
and
cake.
yeah,
Cream cheese frosting.
thank you. So,
Bacon.
His Royal Highness Honey Cake. Anyway,
Royal Highness honey cakes.
right? So, well, you know, you're a
That's gonna
prince.
get cut.
You're a
You gotta
prince
cut that
and a
out.
king and a this and a that. So,
There's
anyway.
nobody better than you, Stace.
Aw.
I'm just saying. I could ask 10 people. I'll get 8 answers yes.
Wow.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good odds.
I mean, right?
It's a decent percentage.
That is a pretty decent. I mean, you know, an
I'll take that
80%.
bet.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you, Vance. Thanks as always for
Always.
sharing what we're eating.
I appreciate you, what you bring to the community, and you as a person is a blessing. Eric, how are you?
Sir, I want to wish you, I hope this is appropriate, but a happy Yom Kippur or a solemn Yom Kippur, whichever one is most appropriate.
You know what? Elul, the month before, is solemn, right? You're
Okay.
supposed to look and repent. So you're repenting now during this period from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur.
Right.
You're supposed to go to whoever you've wronged and ask for forgiveness. And it's a great
geez.
practice, and you're supposed to do it to yourself. So it's not about if you sinned in the eyes of the Lord or if you sinned or wronged another. You have to do that and ask the person. They don't have to accept it. It's just a practice of going and asking. And that's what's really cool.
Well, you know
Anyway,
what
I was gonna
it's
tell
going to
you what to
guarantee
say.
some forgiveness is bringing them a sandwich from Dingfelder's Deli.
Or honey cake.
Or a honey cake, yeah.
I'm feeling that. So what you say to somebody is, have a good yontif.
Okay.
And that's Yiddish.
That's right.
There
Have
you
a good
go.
yontif. All right, sir.
you
Thank
go.
you.
Take care, Mr. Engineer.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh. I feel like his intro is just gonna become longer than the
Than the
outro.
show.
Yeah, totally.
The whole show will be listing his credits. Well, of course, we're starving now, and we got to wrap things up so we can go get some of that honey cake.
I know.
But before we do that, we got to decide what we're talking about next week.
All right. I don't know if we get to decide or if it's decided for us.
What's in your fridge?
Oh. This should be good.
Maybe we'll have to get Vance on earlier next week.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the idea behind this is like, you know, the weekly and then the staples, like, and the random things. Like my mother, for instance, has holy water in her fridge. I don't even know.
Just got to keep it standing by just in case vampires.
I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, where else do you put it? In
There
a
you
case
go.
of emergency, break for scotch.
I mean, is it less holy if it's not
Refrigerated?
chilled?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
If
know.
it's room temperature holy water, is that not chilled? Because I remember at church it was just in big, little bowls or whatever. So
I think she didn't know where to put it.
yeah, okay.
Anyway, so have a great week, everybody. And thanks for listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk.
And happy Yom Kippur to our Jewish friends.
Yeah.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.